Matt.
Guys, just genuinely thank you so much for coming out and supporting the local kind of stand-up comedy scene. We are very aware that we couldn't do this without you, so thank you. Yeah, thanks very much for putting me up. So I've been doing this for 2.5 months. The nerves are slowly getting replaced with confidence, as you can see. But I'm getting there. And one other thing that I've kind of changed in my approach is I record everything that I do. So I can put it on YouTube, and I'm really looking forward to the time when someone other than my mum watches it, right? So in a shameless attempt at self-promotion, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matthew Chalmers, and I'd really, really like it if you could remember my name moving forward, because unfortunately I've just learned that my grandma can't. I'm very aware that like dementia is not really a laughing matter, but this story is fucking brilliant. I went to see my gran recently, and I turned up, and she kind of remembered who I was, but I had to kind of introduce myself, and she says, "Oh, Matthew, it's great to see you. Look how big you've got." And I said, "Well, gran, I'm fucking 31. I've been this size for quite some time." And the next thing that happened was she got stuck on one question, and she wanted to know what I did for a living. So the first several times I said, "Gran, you know what I do for a living? I'm a golf professional, but I specialise in coaching." And she said, "Oh son, that's magnificent, that's fantastic. You were always really into your golf. I'm glad you do something that you love." And we had a conversation about it, and sure enough it came full cycle, and she asked me again. So after the third time I thought, right, I need a wee rest from this. So I went out into the kitchen and bumped into my granddad, who was also hiding. And I said, "Granddad, this is doing my head in. Do you mind if I do a little experiment, please?" And he says, "What's that, son?" And I says, "Well, I want to try and trick Gran by telling her ridiculous occupations that a man with my skill set could never do. And at some point she's going to twig that I'm kidding her on, right?" So it was harmless, right? It wasn't mean. So I started slowly. I was like, "Right, Gran, I'm a doctor. I'm a neurosurgeon." Now, you guys don't know me very well, but the fact that I had to Google brain doctor on the way here just to make sure neurosurgeon worked, right? That's a key indicator that I was never going to be one. So my gran, she said to me, she looked up, she says, "Son, that's fantastic. I always knew you'd do really well because you were so clever in school." And I thought, "Gran, what the fuck are you smoking in those cigarettes?" I was terrible in school. The only A's that I ever saw were on my attention deficit disorder diagnosis, right? And my Ritalin prescription. That's the only time I ever saw an A. So I thought, right, 1-0 to Gran. I'm going to go for this a wee bit now. So the next time she asked me, I deliberately put down my bacon roll and my crisps in front of her, and I stood up and I said, "Gran, you know what I do for a living? I'm training to become an Olympic sprinter." And then I just heard my granddad shout through from the kitchen. He says, "All right, son, I can just imagine Usain Bolt shiting himself in the front of you sitting next to him." I'm like, "Fuck off, granddad, get on with your crossword. Here's one for you. 5 across, 5 letters, Rick with a silent P." Right? But anyway, then my gran, she did something that was just, it was amazing that she did. She stood up for me. And I don't mean that literally, because that would have been amazing. She's been in a wheelchair for 13 years, right? But she said, "Oh, you in the kitchen, you leave him alone. If he wants to be an Olympic sprinter, he will be an Olympic sprinter." And I thought, oh man, how bad do I feel? I'm taking the mickey out of my poor gran, and she's defending me. And then she turns around to me and she says, "Matthew, look, I'm delighted that you're doing something that is helping you out with your fitness. Because remember, you used to be really, really fat as a teenager." And I was like, "Gran, thanks very much for that. You can't remember what you had for your fucking breakfast, but you can remember my BMI from when I was 15. How charming is that, right? I'm going to get you back now, right?" So after that, I really turned up the ante. I was like, "Right, Gran, I'm an astronaut. I ran off to join the circus. I act in adult movies, you know, and you know what, I could never do that. I could never be a porn star because I just don't have the abs." Anyway, so she was winning. I could not convince her that there was any job I can do. So the last time she asked me, I was like, "Gran, look, you know what I do. I'm a golf professional. I've specialised in golf coaching." And she said, "Okay." And then I thought, well, if there's one person to tell a secret to, There's no danger of it going anywhere. She's an ideal candidate. So I said, Gran, I've never told anybody this before, but my ambition in life actually is to become a professional stand-up comedian. And I've never felt so vulnerable where she took a sip of her tea and she put it back down and she turned to me and she grabbed my hand and she said, son, are you sure? I love you to bits, but I've never really found you very funny. Guys, that's me. Thank you very much.